I really enjoyed that. You're the only one who actually spoke to me about it.
Dude, I wrote a whole thing about it for the Metakey.
Yeah, like you're the only one who did it. Like the only one who had that much interested in.
Well, it's like,
Because
it's genius though. It's legitimately genius.
I wouldn't call it genius, but I think it's something not very much explored in NFTs yet, you know?
Yeah, well, it's
Yeah,
it's
but yeah.
it's like it's that, and it's also like like I'm fucking crazy in the sense where it's like, to me it's like when I see a piece of art, right? I just look at all the themes, and then if the themes are strong, I'm like, it's gonna overtake everything in the world, right? And my biggest thing about the whole Hong Kong piece, and I'll ask you that when I start recording, is like, man, you just essentially like just came up a way with of completely avoiding censorship and appreciation of Chinese culture. Like, just you just did it, and I was just like sitting there like, well, fuck me, like shit, cool.
Yeah, because actually, coming on that topic, have you seen the recent Marvel movie?
No,
Did
I
you watch
haven't.
that? I highly recommend it, but there's this critique on YouTube. It's called Ascended Cinema, I believe,
Mm.
and it's by a Chinese dude,
Uh huh.
and he critiques like how you know what it is in the West. We see it through a Western perspective, right?
Mm.
You're from Egypt, right?
Mm.
So you must recognize that like the West, anything that's not Western will be molded into this Western view. So Egypt is obviously has a huge stereotype connected to it, which
Mm.
is the Egyptians. You don't think of current day Egypt, you think of, your 5,000 years ago, basically,
Mm.
you know, which the same happens with China, where constantly, like, the Chinese government is constantly pushing a narrative of China,
Mm.
which kind of clouds the beauty of it. And then you have the West, which also constantly
It's
pushes
true.
a narrative of China, which also clouds the beauty of it, right?
It's, oh, absolutely. I mean, like, yeah, like you said, it's all stereotypes, and it's all like popular culture recycled and pushed further into mainstream view over and over and over, and until everybody thinks that's what it is, right? And then,
Exactly, exactly. Whereas if you do a bit of a deep dive, you can kind of understand where things come from, and that's why I did it at least because I really like Hong Kong. I've unfortunately never been,
mm,
but I've been scouring the internet for hours just looking at Hong Kong, right? And
it's the pictures, right? Like, and like the romanticization that's happened about
yeah,
Hong Kong,
exactly.
right? It's
Yeah, but then there's such a dark undertone to it as well.
oh, absolutely. Like, I mean, it's like, to me, I view Hong Kong as like this like sort of modern version of cyberpunkish dystopia. Well, I mean, like, I sort of view like, well, not all of China, but like the cities, right? Downtown
Yeah,
city areas of China as like this sort of
yeah,
dystopian
yeah.
fucking like setting that's just about to hit the cyberpunk. Like, all we need is just like somebody,
Literally.
like, yeah, somebody to come up, and we're getting there. Like, we're like, and it's like, funny enough, it's like, I think all of us in the NFT space, out of all people, and it's like, I've already started recording because I have this bad habit of like talking to artists, and we just get going immediately, and then I'm like, oh shit, I didn't
We
record
forgot to
half of,
record.
yeah, like, this is really good, and I was waiting to do an intro and get going, so,
Yeah. Well, do
I
you want to do an intro real quick?
well, yeah, I'll do it because like I'll probably like include like the last 5 minutes of our conversation to those listening. Hello, welcome to our artist talk of this week. Welcome, Meta Crew. Hope you're enjoying. Today, I have with me one of essentially to me, I consider him to be one of the greatest artists in the space. Dutch Tide. Um, and if you heard, we immediately, I said hello to him, and we just got going, and it's hilarious. But Dutch, if you want to give a little introduction.
Well, thank you for your kind words. That is very humbling. Um, yeah, my name is DUTCHTIDE. I'm an artist from the Netherlands, and I try to make art that captures the spirit from, Southeast Asia, specifically China, Japan, um, and then and recently Tibet,
Mm.
and try to connect that to the more Dutch fundamentals of art.
Mm.
So that's what I try to do. Um, I know it sounds a bit weird when you put it like that, but obviously I come from a Dutch perspective in
Mm.
art. We have a couple unique art styles like the style, or
Oh, Dutch painters? Are you kidding me?
yeah, like the dramatic Dutch skies. Those are quite famous, and
Mm-hmm.
those kind of like that heritage I bring into my lens onto the East, and I try to portray the East in the way I experienced it when I was there. So when I traveled Japan, I have been in China, but not in
In Hong Kong.
cities whatsoever. But I did
Mm.
get a taste of that country. That sounds so stupid. I was only there at the airport that day. I had a layover.
Mm.
It was a domestic layover, or an what do you call it? Not domestic, but
International layover, or
yeah, no, like just inside the country. Is that domestic?
I actually don't know, but I know just
Yeah,
like the layover is like the term you're just waiting in the airport for your next flight.
exactly. So I had a layover, and I went from one city to another. I'm not
Mm.
even gonna try to pronounce the the names, but just that day that I was there gave me was quite inspirational, just being on that airport and witnessing this, because airports say a lot about a country,
It's true.
actually.
It's true.
When you go to, like, I went to Dubai, and Dubai's airport is all about luxury,
Oh,
about being huge,
yeah.
you
I
know?
They would never let me in Dubai.
No, well, I can tell you, I went there, and when you go pick up your bag, I went through there, and this luggage hall is the size of a football field, right? Like a
Yeah,
soccer field.
it's
And there's just these huge columns supporting the roof, and everything is like a goldish color.
it's
And
true.
there's waterfalls, and there's palm trees, and it's like so extravaganza.
It is. Well,
And then, yeah,
let me ask you this actually. Did you notice like the same weird like under like the I mean like we were talking earlier, right, about like how Hong Kong and all that has like a weird
yeah,
dark
yeah,
undertone to it. You
yeah,
noticed that in Dubai as well or no?
yeah. I
Right?
always say Dubai is like Disneyland without the magic.
That is
So
actually that's the fucking perfect description. Holy shit, Disneyland without the magic. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, it's really just a giant facade, which makes it a really interesting place, by the way.
Oh,
But
it does. Like yeah, it's from an Arab perspective, it's actually one of the most interesting places to look at because it's just like it's such a weird place.
it really is weird. I remember also being there on a layover, so I had 12 hours there. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna go explore the city. And they have a mall there, which is the size of the village I live in. Like, that's
What?
kind of mind blowing, you know? And they have AC everywhere as
Yeah.
well,
Oh
like
yeah.
air conditioning,
They have
which
to.
outside as well.
Yeah. No, they have to. It's that's the thing. Like North Africa, and the higher you go up, the summers up until like you hit Europe, the summers are fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
Insane. And it's like this weird thing where it's like your summer degrees will like be up at 25, will go up to 35, sometimes hit 40, right, our
Yeah,
hottest
it was.
and then you pass the fuck out, and then at night it dips, it gets real fucking cold.
I just don't get why the ACs. Like,
Mm.
I was standing at a train station, and the train station is open, right?
Mm.
And then there's just an air conditioning blowing in my back
Uh,
on the terrace, and I'm like, I don't think that really helps, to be really honest.
it doesn't. So here's well actually, since you're a builder, right?
Yeah,
I'm gonna try to find a picture real quick of old Ottoman houses, right? Or
Yeah, I would love that actually.
and then so or like oh I'll find it. Let's say 80s. It's 80s, like around like the 1800s Egypt, right? And essentially, I know this from experience. Like Egypt can get really fucking hot,
Yeah.
and
I mean, it's a desert, right?
yeah, exactly. And so, where can I? It's essentially the way we built the houses is to completely maximize and create airflow,
Yeah, I
right?
love that.
And
Mhm.
so it's like up until a certain point everybody had that, and then I don't know what the fuck happened, but everybody in the Middle East decided to just like they jumped on the air conditioning shit and lost like the beautiful design and airflow of like these like houses. Hold on, I'm trying to find the picture for it.
I love that. Actually, when you go look at the older architectures all over the world, you'll see that people are really genius.
Oh yeah,
You know,
absolutely.
there's this building in Rome, the Pantheon. It's one of the oldest. It's a world famous building, and
Hmm.
it has a hole in the roof. And it's like a dome. It's the biggest and oldest standing dome in the world. Um, and what happens is water can just when it starts raining, the rain can just fall inwards, right? Like you would just get a wet floor.
Mm.
So what did they do? It still gets wet, by the way, disclaimer. But what did they do? They made it so that the airflow goes in circular motion upwards, so that when it rains lightly, the rain just gets pushed out. It can't actually go in because of the airflow that comes out of that hole, which is genius. This is
It's
done by the
actually
Romans, right?
well.
Like,
Also, like, wasn't their Colosseum like completely effective in projecting sound as well? Like up
yeah,
to
that was they were ahead of their time.
oh yeah,
Like,
it's like ingenuity at its finest. I actually can't find any picture of old Egyptian homes. What the? Well, here I'll send you like the one picture that I found. But
it's
those
probably
like
super pixelated or something.
yeah, or it's like I have to like go search it in Arabic, and I can't speak in English and type in Arabic at the same time. It's
You have
fun.
to do that. You get that switch in your head.
Oh
That's
yeah,
really hard.
it's
I
fucked,
love those. I love those wooden balconies.
dude. Yeah, those like airflow is fucking insane.
What
It's
are those
legit.
called?
I think Shipshibeya or something like that. Give me
I
one.
love those. They're so beautiful.
Sh-
So what
It,
are those used for? They're like balconies, or
yeah, they're like balconies and windows. Oh my.
and it extends the house in a way,
Yeah,
right? But they're made of wood.
yeah.
But so you can correct me if I'm wrong, but like majority of Egypt is desert, right? Like the Sahara Desert.
Oh, absolutely.
So the only place you get wood from is where?
So it's essentially if you look at like a map of Egypt, like we have a lot of stuff around. Like the Nile had a lot of vegetation,
Yeah.
and so it's the trees around there, and I think like getting wood from Sudan.
Ah, okay.
So like you
No, but
also
it makes sense to have it around the Nile,
oh yeah,
for sure.
and it's
It's
like
huge. So
and it's like you gotta keep in mind like we have this king, right? His name is Muhammad Ali in Egypt. Egypt under his power or his ruling or whatever the fuck you call it,
mm,
was extended into Sudan and
yeah, right.
extended into Libya, right? And then when the
Mm.
British came in, they they essentially they were the ones that it's actually fucking weird to say this, but like the layout of Egypt right now was completely enforced by the British. Like
Yeah, I mean that explains those super mega straight borders.
exactly. Like that's yeah, it's like it's yeah, it's actually weird to say it out loud, but like that's essentially just completely like board
Uh,
and so but before that like a lot of trade would happen here. I found
a
another
lot of the
pictures.
a lot of the issues in the world are from the British, my dude.
Oh yeah, it's
Oh,
uh,
I love that, huh? Yeah,
it's
you have similar architecture in Morocco, where
Oh,
you get
absolutely. Yeah, we
like the
got.
interior gardens, right? Like,
Oh yeah, it's exactly that. It's exactly that. That creates like the whole airflow inside of the house. And to those listening, they're like, "What the fuck are you guys looking at?" We're looking at old. If you go on Google and search Mamluk house, Mamluk, and then houses, it essentially brings you pictures of an era from Egypt. Which so Mamluk means sort of it comes. I'm probably butchering my own history right now because I haven't fucking studied it in 5 years, but um the Mamalik essentially sort of translates to like the owned, and they were like a bunch of sort of well, they are a sort of servant slave class in Egypt that's adopted by the king, right?
mm,
Castrated so they don't create any sort of power over the throne, and then brought up to become warriors. And so their houses, that's the sort of house that's like been adopted at the time, and it just essentially like just complete airflow. Um, I recommend
I
everybody like I recommend you look at it more. It's like you'll see like the textures and the shit and like the fuck textures. Jesus, I'm talking as if we're talking about Unreal.
mhm, mhm. Dude, I love learning about this stuff, to be honest.
Oh man, have
I
you? What are the
I've been
houses?
saving
Oh,
this. Look, I'm
mm.
sending you some stuff now. This is super not fun for the people at home. I'm sorry, but this is for me a really good opportunity to learn a little bit about this. So these are some things I've saved on my Pinterest,
Oh yeah,
and that's where I recognize the balconies from. This seems to be a universal theme
oh yeah.
in the Middle East, and I absolutely love it. It's so beautiful and detailed. But I was always
It's
just wondering, like, what the purpose is of those little extensions. Like, can you sit in there?
yeah, you can.
Well,
You can sit, have tea there, talk to your neighbors. Funny, Egyptians love we're lazy, right? And so when we
yeah.
buy groceries, we have this thing called el sebat, which is a basket. And so you find the old lady sitting in there dropping a basket with a string for the boy downstairs who just bought her the stuff she wants, and he would just put them in the basket and she would just pull them up into the
I love
window.
that. That's so cool.
Yeah, somebody in Montreal did that, and they got a warning from their building telling them not
Oh,
to do
really?
it. Yeah. Well,
But so these things, they seem they let a lot of air through, right?
oh yeah, they do.
So so when it's cold, does it still protect you from obviously it gets cold at night, right? So
It
how do you fix that?
it's the building is built out of like concrete or like bricks, so it holds on to heat pretty well.
Okay,
Uh,
and it extends at night. The heat
exactly,
comes out at night.
pretty
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
much. Like in the sun, like yeah, your bricks and your concrete like stay warm, and
Yeah,
it's also like because of how close it is. Like the city's, like Cairo has 80 million people or 90 million people alone,
huge.
right?
My
That's like
God.
the population of all of Egypt is like 100 something, and most of us are located in one fucking city, or go or
Yeah,
drive into the city for work, right? And it's just like the heat of the fucking city alone is insane.
I can only imagine, dude. I mean, the Sahara is like one of the hottest places on the planet,
It's
right?
yeah, but it's like it's the hottest place on the planet, but it's the perfect place for fucking solar power.
Yeah, it is. And you don't have that?
Oh no, we had it in like we had it before the war with Israel, and then that got
Oh,
dismantled to I think create like war shit for us to be able to take Sinai back.
oh my
It's
God.
yeah, no, like Egypt has had like the shit you hear about Egypt will like fuck with you because like Egypt had plans like and we there are successful plans of complete well not complete irrigation but like extensive irrigation of the Sahara Desert, right?
Yeah,
You just gotta drill canals at the Nile and just make sure that they connect so that it doesn't become still water, right?
yeah, yeah.
But now what's happening is nobody's done that, and then Ethiopia is building a dam right on their like
I've heard
on the
about that.
Nile, and so war is a gonna war might happen in fucking
Yeah,
Africa.
that's a really big issue. I think, wasn't it so that if your country builds a dam first, they're not allowed to build another dam?
Well, it wasn't. It's more of like people say like that's the argument, but it's essentially like Egypt is the last country on the Mediterranean, right?
Yeah.
So we're not cutting off the water from anybody else. It's our water,
No.
right?
Yeah.
We use the water to create energy, right? Our dam is like a aqua energy, whatever the fuck, hydro energy,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Hydro energy. Yeah. Yeah.
And so the thing about the worry with Ethiopia is they're not only like cutting out Egypt, they're cutting south and normal Sudan, right?
Yeah.
Like, and so it's and for those who are listening, Ethiopia essentially is the biggest contributor of water to the Nile River. It's
Yeah.
like
Because that's where it springs, doesn't it?
yeah, that's
Like,
a
yeah.
there rains on the mountains, like it's insane, and it's like the sad thing about it too, like personally to me is like I mean in the Netherlands, like do you guys have areas that are known for like their soil fertility?
I
Is it
mean, look, we did things differently here in the Netherlands, all right? Like we there's a huge history to, but basically,
mm,
like there's a huge history to our farmers. That's why we're the best farmers in the world.
damn.
People don't people don't know that, but we produce more tomatoes than the US, for example.
Holy shit.
We're just behind China.
Yo, damn.
Just
Nice.
and that's just tomatoes. We also have chili peppers and paprikas. We have
Chili peppers.
yeah,
Really?
yeah,
I did not know
because
this.
we've learned how to optimize our food production to such an extent that and we go like full cyberpunk on farming, dude. Like we use drones to measure how much water each individual crop needs.
What the fuck, dude? Ac-
Welcome. Yeah, we
Actually?
do that. Yeah. We have greenhouses that are working 24/7 to produce this stuff.
It's it's my dream to be able to go into a dream house and a greenhouse and take photographs. And my university had a greenhouse on top of their building that they didn't allow anybody in except
Oh,
like
really?
science people. Yeah, and it's like unless you had a friend there, you couldn't get in. And I was so fucking mad.
Oh my
Like
God.
so you guys have greenhouses like full. Well, I mean,
Dude, basically, our entire country is a greenhouse, right?
and
Like,
so
like if you look at satellite images at night, the
which
Netherlands just glows up blue. It's just one giant blue spot. There's no
uh,
space that's dark.
hold on, I'm gonna Google this. So I can't spell for shit.
Here, I get it for you. Netherlands at night,
Wow,
like, yeah.
that's
We are just,
fucking
and
crazy.
for example, when I go to bed tonight and we have clouds, they just shine up yellow because of or they light up yellow because of the greenhouses that are not so far away from here.
That's fucking. And I imagine, well, like, you guys don't have to deal with like seasonal fruit then, because of your greenhouses. You can just have whatever fruit all
That,
you.
that's the thing, right? Like we don't have really fruits that grow here. Like we have apples, we have pears,
But
but
like,
things like other like more tropical fruits just can't grow here. So we import those.
okay, but like
Yeah.
you can't you don't have like greenhouses for them. Like that's not a thing.
No, no,
Okay,
no. I think that depends. I think I'm sure we have greenhouses that produce fruit. Um,
well,
but no, it's more general crops like
okay,
coleslaw, or whatever. I'm not a farmer. I just know that the Netherlands has like we did things so differently, and now we're the biggest agricultural country on the planet in terms of agriculture.
it's
So, but we're also one of the smallest countries, which is what makes it so interesting, right?
it's yeah like how cold do your winters get?
Not that cold.
No,
We have a very mild climate because we're next to the sea and we're so small.
your
So
neck. What the Yo, in Canada, everything that's next to water is the worst place to be.
no, no, look, I know, and it's interesting because we're almost on the same.
Like altitude?
Yeah, no, not altitude because we're half of the Netherlands is below sea level. But
Oh, long.
um, yeah, another fun fact.
The
No, we are almost on the same length on the globe. So if you would just pull a line around the
oh,
globe from
longitude. Okay.
Canada to the Netherlands, you come basically on the same length. However, we get very mild s- winters and relatively mild summers, but that's also changing due to climate change, unfortunately.
It's that's
But yeah,
actually
we
fucking crazy.
I think the coldest it gets here is like minus 7.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
All
I
right.
mean, it used to get a lot colder, like -20 was not unheard of, but that's unheard of now
Oh,
if it
it's
gets that cold.
for us. I remember one time I'm telling my mom like, "Hey, it's negative 25 and feels like negative like 35 outside," and
Yeah,
she
yeah,
goes, "Oh, like so you're not going into work?" And I was like, No, I have to
we
go
are.
into work. Like, what do
Yeah,
you mean?" And then she's like, "What do you mean? It's snowing." I'm like, and then I told like my university had in all its like 200 something years had 3 snow days, and I witnessed one
yeah.
of them.
Canada does not give a fuck.
Yo, it's like yeah, it doesn't like nobody here. I equate it to like if you can work in Canadian weather, you can fucking work anywhere, because
Yeah,
it's like the own like if you live in a country where like the whole weather fucks you, you know, yeah, like what else? Like fuck, that's shit. You know, it's like the weather, like legitimately, and it's like the way people build the cities here are, it's like wind tunnels everywhere. So you're just walking and you just get blasted with like -35 wind chill in your face. Boom.
they're idiots.
It's like
Bad urban planning.
oh, dude, yeah, no. If you wanna, if you wanna talk urban planning, Montreal, you need to look at Montreal. That city's in perpetual state of construction. It's like
Yeah,
I don't know why, but it's like people haven't figured out how to like. I don't know if it's even possible, but like because of how cold it gets, like the concrete just cracks, and so they
yeah.
just constant construction. And then you go into Montreal, and Montreal is built like shit, and so the buildings are just like slowly like deteriorating. Like my girlfriend said, Montreal has 2 seasons: winter season and construction season. You know.
Oh my God, yes. I think like the thing, what the thing is with North and like with the US and Canada is that it's all built around cars,
Yeah,
right?
it's true.
You don't care about wind tunnel urban design if you have a car.
It's true, and
But
it's
you and I, we come from a different part of the world where it's not unheard of to walk,
oh, absolutely. It's like
right?
that's the thing. It's just like and like have you ever noticed? I don't know, like well, maybe like Netherlands because it's a small, but it's like to me because of walking and all that stuff. Like a 2 hour commute is not that long. It's like
I find that very long. I find that very
yeah,
long.
okay, well, to me it's like because of like Egyptian roads and shit, like in traffic, it's like a walk. To me, like an hour walk, I'm like yeah, okay, I'd rather take the hour walk than take the bus, you know,
Right.
and then do it. It's just like it's that type of and
Yeah, no, I've never been I've never been in that situation.
it's yeah,
All
no,
right.
Egyptian traffic is fucking it's hell.
I
It's
know. I've seen the photos of like just traffic jam, like just
oh,
no movement.
it's
It, and in that heat, I can imagine everybody being really annoyed,
oh, absolutely. It's
you know?
well, like
So
well, speaking of like now I'm curious, right? Because what's like the house design where you live like, right? Because I've seen you like make work inspired. Well, like the
I
layout of
haven't
the
made,
mm,
I personally haven't made real art based off the Netherlands yet.
no,
So no, like we have very unique architecture that's
mm,
like very famous. Um, Here, if I just type in Amsterdam, I'm 100% sure you get
oh,
art. Here you get this is like a typical Dutch scene, like this is super common. Water and those funky
oh,
funky houses. And they are kind of falling over these houses.
mm,
That's
wow.
you've never seen this.
I've sort of seen it, but it's like I've seen it a few times, and then I've seen sort of like Dutch inspired houses. in Canada, and so that sort of has warped my like sense of architecture over there, because it's like people will take the outer design and overlay it on Western style houses, and so
Yeah, that's really hard because these houses, that's the thing that a lot of people, that's the issue with new architects, is they don't understand the functional design of these places, right?
it's true.
That's why, so let's say if I were to make an architectural piece of one of those no traditional Egyptian homes, and I wouldn't know that it's constructed around airflow to keep you guys kind of cool, right?
Mm.
And for example, and that those balconies are used for tea time and connect. It's like a connective space where you connect to people. Like all those things, they have certain function. And when you just take the aesthetical things, that's when you get a caricature of it, right? So this happens a lot with people that are inspired, like architects that are inspired by plays but don't really do their research well. You just get weird, ripped off buildings.
It's
You
true.
know, like America is famous for it. They have those kind of houses that feel put together. They have like these Roman columns, right? And then they have these, yeah, I don't know, it looks super ugly. But these buildings, they have a function, right? These were warehouses.
Oh yeah.
So these were used to store goods and items that were brought there by boat.
Oh.
That's why they're standing there. That's why they're built the way they are. And why are the windows looking that way? Because back then we couldn't make glass in the width strong enough to support the house. So we built them in the length, right?
Wow.
And why do we have the roofs like that? There were status symbols. So more often than not, you'll find statues or certain types of decoration that symbolize the status of the person that owned that place or the company, etc.
That's
Right?
dude. That's actually fucking. That's a nice little piece of history, actually.
But it makes sense, right? When you think
Yeah.
about it like that. But so if you don't know these things, all you'll see is the shape and the idea, but you don't know where it originates from. And this is what I do with all my art, actually, is like I try to dive deep into what makes these places so unique. Like why are when you look at Japanese
Mm.
architecture, that goes in different stages, which is really fun if you look at it. You have obviously the very traditional homes, like what we always think of, like the roof tiles and the wood and the tatami room style stuff, like. And then you look at the newer things, and it's like all tiles and concrete and stuff. So you go dive deep in that, and then you can faithfully portray this kind of stuff,
It's true.
faithfully portray the architecture and what it represents,
And
really.
it's the significance, right?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Because you might just walk past it because to us it's just a house, but in an artist impression, you can kind of see what I see, you know, when I see these things.
It's true. I mean,
And I like to, sorry, continue.
no, no. I
Yeah.
was well, like I was gonna ask you something, but you go ahead.
I think I just like to combine styles as well, like explore how it could potentially be different than the reality.
Mm.
So Hong Kong homage, it stays very true to Hong Kong due to certain elements I've put in, but
Mm.
there's a part of the building that is not Hong Kong at all. It's mid-century. Uh, it's called yeah. It's like that style's called mid-century.
Mm.
So it follows, a bit more. Yeah, I don't know. Like, wait, I'm sending you the photo. So you have the back of this building, which is completely different than the rest of it, and that is because it's not actually based off Hong Kong.
Mm.
But I wanted to explore that, right? Like what could that look like in a Hong Kong style, in a Hong Kong setting?
Well,
And then there's other parts that are completely Hong Kong, you know, like the bar and the front of the place, and yeah, and the signs, obviously, you
well,
know.
and it's also like, I mean, I the way I think about it is a lot of us and a lot of, I mean, I don't. Can I ask how old you are?
I'm 25 and I'm
Okay,
turning 26 soon.
so I'm 23 and I'm gonna be 24 in 2022, right? But
Oh, you're
essentially,
23?
yeah,
Oh, you're young.
it's I fucking got my university education and hated that fucking shit. Dipped and I like, well, I didn't dip. I graduated, and then
Yeah.
I found like the one thing that would essentially be my like fuck you to like all the
Yeah.
bullshit that I got in university.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
yeah, and it's like I've been into crypto before and all that shit, and then so I was like, yo, this seems cool.
This is so much cooler than whatever you learn at school,
Oh,
man.
absolutely, 100%. And it's like, it's also like, because in school, right, you get these talks, and it's like people assume that because you are from one place, right, like in university, like people be like, oh, you're from the Netherlands. Are you gonna make Dutch themed work? Are you gonna talk about your Dutch identity, right?
Yeah.
And it's like
Yeah.
at some point, like, yes, like as immigrants and all that, like we do that, but also there I realized, like, with our generation, like we grew up with the internet, like sort of not embedded into our lives, because like our internet wasn't early on into our lives, right? But it's like we grew up around the internet and being connected to people from all over the world, right? So it's like it's
Yeah.
bound, and I think it's actually like completely valid, right, for this sort of evolution and hybridity of style, just because it's like you cannot argue that we haven't been around this stuff all our life, because we have.
The
Just
thing is,
to
though, like we have, but we also haven't,
w-
right?
it,
Because I didn't grow up. We obviously had internet, but I didn't get
mm,
to really use it till in my teenage years, right?
yeah.
So before that, everything was kind of offline, you know?
Mm.
Like, compare my brothers, they're a lot younger than me.
Oh,
One of them is 15 and the other is 12.
oh,
They
pre.
really grew up
Yeah,
with
no,
internet.
yeah, that's ingrained into them.
Exactly. They grew up with tablets and they grew up with like with Nintendo DS, you know, and just having always access to everything. But I remember that when I would cycle to school, I would I would agree with my friends the day before, all right, we meet at this place, right?
Mm.
And then we cycle together. And if you're 2 minutes late, you know, they don't know if you're coming or not. Because there was no way of communicating other than giving it a call. But if you're there, you can't call.
Yeah, it's
Like,
true.
we didn't have mobile phones,
Or it's
right?
the days
Or we
of,
did have mobile phones, but we wouldn't use it in that way,
yeah.
you know?
It's
And like now, it's like, hey, where are you? It's really a question of the last 8 years or 10 years.
I you know, you are right, actually. Yeah,
Because before, when you would call somebody, you would know where they are because you would call them on the home phone.
it's true.
So you wouldn't need to know where they are because you know where they are. But once we started getting mobile phones, the question like, "Hey, where are you?" started to become a thing.
Do you
You know,
still
same as
do you still
yeah.
use home phones? I'm curious.
No, no, I don't. I don't have a home phone at all. No.
Me neither. It's like it was one of those things where it's like I remember one time I was signing up for internet and they're like, "Hey, you get a home phone and TV," and I was like, "What? Why do I need a home phone for?
Yeah.
The
What is
fuck?
this?
Like,
I don't
why?"
exactly. Even though it's quite handy, but these days it's just being used by Indian scam callers, from
It's
what I
it's like what I've gotten. It's like in Canada, it's like it's all we get bots. It's
yeah.
like the weirdest fucking thing, and it's like I've heard like my aunt's like crazy theories of like, like there are these scam calls that all you need to say is hello, and then they ask you if like are you there, and then when you say yes, you've signed up to something, and I'm like, okay, like shit, like what the hell?
Yeah, that's true actually.
That's actually true.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. They're quite smart. Yeah. No, for example, it's not necessarily about you signing up for things. It's about them linking your identity to your
To
data.
Ah,
So you can find your phone number online. That's not that hard, but they don't know it's you,
it's true. That's
right?
very true. I
And
hope
that
not.
phone number becomes very valuable once they know who owns that phone number.
Oh,
So I actually got a email the other day from Norton Security Scan, and they were like, "Hey, thank you for extending your Norton security program. Did you not do this? Call us here. We have the help service live for you." Something like that, right?
mhm.
And it looks legit, and I can totally imagine that if you're an older person, right? You call because you're like, "What the fuck? I didn't order shit." So you
Yeah,
call them, and now they know exactly who calls them because they link it to your email and shit. So now they have your email, they have your phone number, they have your identity,
it's true.
and and that you can all sell.
Yeah,
You know,
it's
that's fucked up.
it is. It's like, well, funny enough, I was talking to Red Scanner, um,
Yeah.
and he was like, imagine owning your fingerprints as NFTs, because then who owns your fingerprints? And I was like, shit, right?
Dude, I wish we could already have NFTs for everything that has
Right,
to do with personal data.
right.
Uh, Voting ballots,
It's, oh my god, like if we moved
you know?
everything to like, if every government moved to crypto, like nobody would be able to fucking steal shit. We would catch every motherfucker.
Yeah, well, I mean, like what that's why I like Web3 because we go from paying with your data to owning your data
Exactly.
and buying the things you need and want,
And
right?
also, and it opens up, it flips the table where we're able to actually make money off of our data instead of the companies making money off of our data, because I get to put it
Yeah,
out there.
exactly. That and it bothers me so much that you and I we grow up and we profit from this time, but we've already given away so much of
Oh,
our like
it's
fingerprints. We should not even be attached
it's
to that
true.
anymore,
It's true.
right? Like also because it's used everywhere over the world. If you go to China and you come into the country, you have to give your fingerprint.
Yeah.
Same for the
It's
US or Dubai, Singapore, Malaysia. Like
it's true. It's
doesn't matter where you go, you always have to give your fingerprint. So we shouldn't be attached to those, but we should definitely be careful with who we share our wallets with, I
oh,
think.
absolutely. I agree. And it's like, well, my thing for fingerprints is like, if you own your fingerprints, right? It's like the same
That's
thing as
worth a
like,
lot.
yeah, and it's also like, who owns, it's like the sense of like ownership of like, you have a paper for your birth certificate,
Yeah,
right? But it's like,
yeah.
is it like, who owns that? It's like, it's given to you, but it's like, it's official paper from the government issued. It's like, okay,
They
cool,
own it.
right?
It's
But
their data. Yeah,
exactly, right? It's like,
yeah,
it's like, this is my record in their database. It's like, it needs to
yeah.
be switched to be like, this is my record and this is mine. It's
This is
a
my database, and I give you the record.
exactly, right? And it's
Yeah,
like, and I mean, maybe it's a bit brutalist in a way of thinking of like how fast that should be flipped, but I mean, it's like, it's the only way, legitimately, like I view it, right? Because it's just like,
this is where people outside of our beautiful NFT bubble completely lack vision, right?
yeah.
Because they don't understand this, and that's why it's not really happening. But this is the future of NFTs, I think. Like art is a really beautiful, cool use case, yeah? Because
Mm,
it allows us to experiment, which is literally what art is. It's just experimentation and exploration. And that's why it's so cool and that's why it's so perfect right now. But as time goes on, I'm 100% sure that the true value of NFTs is in owning your data. You
oh, I
know,
mean,
like,
it's the true value is like in everything, right? Because it's like, owning your data also includes like legitimately owning your art in a
yeah,
safe environment, right? And it's like,
yeah.
it's
No, but also your name. Like,
yeah,
just,
exactly.
I
I mean,
want to own my username. I
well,
want to own the data that you're collecting. I want to say, all right, if you want it, pay me $1,000, pay me 2,000,
exactly.
10,000, $100,000.
Well,
You know,
do you have an ENS domain?
I do.
Nice. Well, you
I
technically
got a
already
lot.
own that.
Huh?
You technically already own your username in the metaverse.
Yes, I do.
It's
So I'm glad about that. But that just counts for I think it should be like, when you get kids, they should have their own. All this stuff that is being collected should be NFTs, and it should be linked to
I
a
agree.
wallet or something, that's yours.
I agree. And it's like, funny enough, it's like I can't wait for the day where NFTs become heirlooms, right? Like
Yeah,
family heirlooms that get passed down. And it's like, because, like, to those listening, we went off topic. And if you know these artist talks, we go off topic all the fucking time. It's fine. Oh, it's like, dude, it's like, I remember one time I was doing an artist talk with Andreas, and I was like, hey, man, we're not, I literally said in the recording, we're not going to try to go off topic because we had like spent 30 minutes talking before, right?
yeah,
And
yeah,
immediately we went off topic like 11 times.
yeah. Well, I mean, in the end, there's the conversation, and I hope it's interesting, and I hope
Oh,
people
it's
share our thoughts.
oh,
Like,
and it also gives insight to people, like to those listening. I guarantee you, they know far more about how your NFTs are made now than they did, right?
you
And
think
also,
so?
I think so, because it's like, man, I was surprised when you said I'm the only one that talked to you about the Hong Kong piece, because to me that was like the themes in it were like the most were obvious. Well, like we're not obvious, but it's like you can clearly see them and you can clearly understand them. But
Yeah, if you're willing to look a little bit further, right?
yeah,
Like,
and so it's like the fact that people aren't like saying that just shows it's like, okay, well, like damn, y'all need to look a little bit harder. Or like, I mean,
well, people are also like, I think it's so easy in NFT land to just categorize a piece of art as a token that can make you money.
it's yeah, it's true, and it's also like the evolution and like the education hasn't happened, right? Where it's like people don't know like the themes we're messing with are in art because like they don't know to look for them. It's like that sense of thing where it's like
Yeah,
I tweeted this out the other day and I was like, because I realized Foundation has tags and I was like, shit, I didn't put any tags on my NFTs on Foundation. And then
yeah,
I'm like, okay, cool.
but
It,
that's new, dude. That's new.
it is that new? Okay. I did
Yeah,
not know. Okay. Maybe I missed it, but it's like I was sitting there and I was like, okay, what tags do I think of? And so I was like, okay, I'll type African art, I'll put Egyptian art. My shit's like sort of like neo Orientalist, so I put that, and then I put post colonial, right?
yeah,
And then I put all my tags, and I'm sitting here thinking like, yeah, okay, like I hope my shit doesn't get run through like a flood.
yeah.
Come to find out, there are only fucking 21 works tagged as African art on all of fucking Foundation.
Really?
Yeah,
I'm
legitimately.
looking.
It's
Yeah.
like, if you go to Egyptian art, I'm the only fucking guy there. If you go to post-colonial art, I'm the only fucking guy there. If you go to
Oh my
neo-Orientalist
God.
art, I'm the fucking, and it's like I don't know if like people don't know these terms exist because there's like
Yeah,
clear post-colonial neo-Orientalist work, but
yeah,
it's nobody's fucking tagging it as such, and I'm just like, how the fuck? Like I'm not an OG, like we're not OGs in the space yet, right? But it's like how the fuck that it's like we're coming on to like these terms first, like what, like in the space, like what?
Well, that's just because we're so early.
It's true.
I realized that last year already. I realized we were early because there's still so much that you can do that's completely different, right?
Absolutely.
Like there's so much to explore still that hasn't been explored. It's completely possible that you're the first one to do something.
It's true, and it's like, I mean, I low-key have this obsession of building a pyramid in the metaverse, so I become the first Egyptian to do so.
Yeah, that's brilliant. So I
So
expect I expect that you've already done it in crypto voxels.
I have it built. I legit have it built. I have the pyramid built, and it has like a structure on top of it that's like sort of inspired by like like Muslim mosques, and then it has like a few Christian inspirations as well, like Coptic inspirations. Yeah,
Yo,
it's built in crypto voxels. I was testing it in Decentraland on stream yesterday for fun. I was like, shit, oh,
yeah,
it's wild.
dude, that's actually, I love that you have that ambition.
Oh, it's like, but that's the thing. It's like that's how I view the space. It's like the perfect, like, I mean, even for you, right? Is like you as like a Dutch artist, for example, there are so many stereotypes that will be put on you from the Western point of view that do you harm than good, right? Because it's like I said, it's like all we learned about in Dutch artists is like Rembrandt and the insane like Renaissance painters, and you're like, okay, what's more? Like, how has this evolved? And the canon
Yeah, I
just
mean, there's a lot. I can tell you the most harmful stereotype is that we're always high.
what?
Actually,
But like, is that a stereotype that's tied to art as well? Because it's like I know the
uh,
stereotype revolving around Amsterdam because like Egyptians are like, I want to go to Amsterdam so I can legally get high, and I'm
yeah,
just
that's
like,
just the Dutch stereotype.
yeah,
Not just art. I
it,
mean, but yeah, I just wanted to point that out.
oh,
It is that's the most annoying thing, to be honest.
and it's like I mean, as a person who had like had that stereotype, and then I came to Canada and then saw it get legalized.
Yeah.
It's like having weed legal is it's not that big of a deal. It's
No, it's not. It's
yeah,
not.
it's like I'm like legitimately far more surprised that more countries just haven't legalized it. That just I'm like, damn, like the fuck. It's
Yeah, I'm always wondering, like, because to me it's so normal that even neighboring countries it's not legal, and I'm like, just find that weird, you know?
um
Although it's not legal here either.
is it
Um,
decriminalized? Is that what is it? It is.
well, I mean, you're always allowed to use. You're allowed to use whatever you want. Like, using is not illegal.
Mm.
Um, that counts for every drugs, everything,
Oh wow.
basically. You're allowed to use crack cocaine if you want. Doesn't mean it's right,
Mm.
but you're allowed to use it. Like, the government's not going to tell you what you're allowed to do, right? But you can. The thing with weed is like it's seen as a soft drugs, so
Mm.
you're allowed to have a certain amount on you,
Okay.
and you're allowed to smoke it basically wherever you want,
Mm.
as long as you're not a nuisance to the public, you know. And yeah, the police, if they see you smoking a joint, they don't give a fuck.
Yeah, that was the
But
same here.
yeah, but if you're a dealer, they will take you in, right? Dealing drugs is not legal.
Okay.
Yeah,
Wow. So
yeah, it's
then,
really weird.
so
It's weird.
like,
Yeah.
what's this whole obsession with like Amsterdam being like this? Like you can just go into coffee shops and buy weed. Then if you're not allowed to sell weed.
I mean, yeah, they are allowed to sell it, but they're not allowed to grow it. So it still comes in through the black market.
I see.
It's
Shit,
so weird, dude.
dude. Um, it's actually fucking hilarious. That's fucking countries don't know how to legalize shit. Apparently, fuck me,
No,
dude.
I mean in the Netherlands, this has been here for a long time, but I don't know. It's not. It's officially it's not legal.
It's
Country to country belief, but you can still just buy it in the shop. Same for mushrooms. You can
nice.
just buy mushrooms. I've personally never done any drugs, so
No,
it's not. No, it's not my
it's not
what
your fault.
to.
Oh, nice. It's
Yeah,
I.
not my forte.
Yeah,
But
it's I've done some drugs. I enjoy weed, so
I mean,
I'm a pretty
I
heavy
don't
weed
judge
smoker.
anybody, right? For me, it's so normal
Oh yeah,
that
that's
people can do whatever they want. It's just not for me. I think I'm also like I think I can easily get addicted to stuff, you know?
yeah,
So
that's one of the biggest things. Like if you have an addictive personality, you have to be careful of what you choose, because if you choose the wrong shit, you're done. You're fucking you
yeah, and I
enter like a
think it
hole.
takes a lot of willpower to do this stuff, and that's the thing, right? Like I like candy, I like chocolate, and I already have a hard time saying, yeah, I will only take one piece.
Oh, that's all. Yo,
I won't do that. I will eat the whole thing.
it's true.
And I'm
Yeah,
like, chocolate is great. Now imagine crack cocaine, right? That's it. That's it. That's not chocolate. That's something way better, you know? I'm not gonna say no to that.
it's. I mean, that's true. It's like so like my experience with that shit is Canada's fucking weird with this shit. I mean like also art students are fucking weird in general. Like the shit I've seen in art
Yeah,
school
they are, yeah.
is beyond is beyond holy, if you will. You know, like
Yeah.
God has left the fucking building completely in the shit that has happened, and it's like, yeah, you have to be careful because it's like. I've seen like how it can go wrong and how people can like start to go down that path, and it
Mm.
just like it happens so fucking quick, and you're just like, damn. And it's just like it's fucking weird. Like, yeah, no, art students are fucking weird.
They are, yeah. I mean, I went to arts. I did an study in game art
Nice.
in Amsterdam. Yeah, that's actually my background is in games. That's I
Hold
love
up.
games.
So
Sorry?
are you saying hold up? So like because when you're like, hey man, I'm learning Unreal 5. I was just assuming that you're just a dude who picked up like Blender and then found out, or like Cinema 4D and then um found
No,
out,
no. I
bro. You
studied.
got an edge. What? So what's your what is it called? Like
It's called game art.
game art.
So
Okay.
yeah, I mean it's a very basic study. So you learn the basics of of art.
Mm,
You know, perspective, color, light, composition,
okay.
anatomy. However, I didn't really practice those, so I wasn't good at them either.
Mm.
I'm still not really good at drawing. Um, but I wanted to become a concept artist, so I became a concept artist. Do you know what that is?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, so that's basically what I did for a living before I started crypto art.
Oh
And
wow.
then, but I never really liked being a concept artist, to be honest, because you're working, you're like making stuff, you're doing art for a living, but it's not very creative.
Mm.
You know, you're not really allowed to give it your own touch. You know, I had to make highways and living rooms and bedrooms and that kind of
Yeah.
stuff, you know.
It's
And I was like, I was working for a TV series for Amazon Prime,
oh, which
so that
TV
was really,
series are you allowed to
yeah.
say?
So sorry,
Are you allowed to say?
yeah, I worked on Undone. Have you seen that?
Undone. No,
Yeah,
I have not. Prime. I will.
I will not say who I am.
Yo, no, actually, I've seen it and it's looked interesting, and I've just never put in the time to like, because it's like it's one of those shows where I was like, if I'm gonna watch this, I actually need to sit down and appreciate the animation, and
Yeah,
I don't have the time right now. But it's like, dude, you worked on fucking on that, bro.
yeah. So I did like a lot of the locations are designed by me and or the concept team, so credit to them. But yeah, I worked on there. I got the credit and everything.
Are you
So,
fucking kidding, bro? What the
but it
home,
wasn't that fun, to be honest. You
sir,
know,
sir? Why
you
ain't you
just
flexing this shit, sir?
because I want to stay anonymous.
Oh, okay. All right, that's fair. All
The
right, that's
smart
fair.
enough people can figure it out, you know. But no, I'm proud of the work I did there, but it wasn't what I wanted to do. And I was like, as a concept artist, you're forever bound to do what the director wants, right? Or the art director. So when I learned that crypto art is a way to make money, I was like, this is awesome, you know. And people seemed to like my work. Back then, when you and I joined, there wasn't a lot of quality work either.
Oh yeah. Oh.
So it was not that hard to stand out compared to now. I feel bad for the people that join now because like
They're joining in
they
a
first have
flood.
to figure out who are the people to follow,
Yeah.
you know. Then they have like I just messaged most of those guys back then,
Yeah.
right? So
Straight up.
Pranksy, I spoke with Pranksy. I spoke with a bunch of people. Jimmy,
Yo, Loopify. You remember Loopify just being before, like everybody who's enters the space now views Loopify and Pranksy, but it's like both of us literally got to see Loopify enter
yeah.
the variable Discord.
In fact, we started at the same time.
Yeah, all of us, literally all of us started around the same time.
Yeah, yeah. Me and Loopify, we're not connected anymore, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's
But
I never connected with him past like a hello. on the Rarible Discord a few times before the Rarible Discord died.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I always took pride because a lot of these guys followed me
Mm.
because they were only below the 10,000 followers, right? And I made quality art and I made it into the top charts of Rarible multiple times. So that was,
Yeah,
like it was easy to connect to them.
it's true.
But yeah, you don't always get relationships don't always flourish,
Oh, wow. I
unfortunately.
mean, oh, of course. I mean, like in this space, man, it's
Can't be
like,
friends with everybody.
oh yeah, you
You
can't.
know?
You really can't. It's like, I mean, we've been here for a year, and it's like I've interacted with so many people, but it's like I on the handful that I talk to, it's like only a few people. It's you, Death himself. Um, like
Hey,
yeah,
Dev, how you doing?
yeah. It's just like I talk to Death himself, like mod sometimes, anonymous fucking nobody, and
Yeah,
then
yeah. I haven't spoken to him in a while, but he's also an OG.
yeah, he's fucking. Yo, technically, according to mod, people are considering us OGs because we joined in September of last year, and I was like, well, shit, okay,
I mean, we jumped like we were on that wave back
yeah,
then because it was a hype. A lot of shit was made, and then October, November, like November, it started dying down,
yeah.
and then November, December, January were very quiet months, actually.
No, absolutely, dude. Oh yeah,
Like I mean, we were there, but most of the people weren't there.
yeah, it's true.
And so we chilled there, and and then suddenly that shit blew up
Yeah,
because of Ethereum as well growing, of course.
it's that, and then Bored Apes. Holy
Yeah,
fuck, Bored
yeah,
Apes. That's my worst fucking. That's my biggest regret.
yeah. I never liked their art.
I never liked them either. I don't like the art of Bored Apes, but it just like if I knew the
Yeah,
potential
no,
of like that's the thing. It's like if I knew the space was gonna choose this fucking project out of all fucking projects
yeah,
to ape into like a motherfucker, I would have been like, okay, cool, I'll pick one up.
yeah, exactly. That's
And
what I had as well,
right,
right? So I,
and
but I
like
have that with a lot of things, a lot of projects, to be honest. Fidenza, I was there when Fidenza got minted,
yeah,
as
same.
well as Ringers, and I don't know how many other art blocks. Like, I just never really cared for art blocks.
Yeah, same.
I like abstract art, but I'm not the biggest lover of it. You know, you can see that in my work as well. You
Well,
can very clearly see what it is.
but so I've been wanting to ask you a little about this actually, right? Because I mean, I realized you're technically the only person I have seen who has used the term eco-brutalism in this space, right? And it's
Really?
like, yeah, I haven't seen anybody else use eco-brutalism in this space at all. Now, like to those listening, if you don't know, brutalist architecture is a thing, and then eco-brutalist architecture is slowly becoming a thing. It's essentially like, how would you describe eco-brutalist architecture?
I think it's the perfect balance between man-made and nature. So brutalism is obviously a very cold, harsh, brutal architecture, right? It's
Mm,
concrete. Most of the time, it's really dirty because of the rain. It originates, I believe, from Soviet Russia. Because it's a cheap way
mm,
of creating stuff. The cool thing about concrete, the material itself, is that it's so sturdy. You can do really funky stuff with it.
it's true.
You can create funky, harsh shapes, right? Very square, very very pointy, very abrupt. So eco-brutalism aims to create certain softness with that. So by adding plants to this harsh building, it becomes part of nature. It becomes and it gets embraced by it. It's really beautiful, and it has a certain,
Dude,
yeah,
that's actually the yo,
it has a
yours
certain quality to it. I think that we can all appreciate, to
out,
be honest.
dude.
It's
Yo,
beautiful, you know. And we currently see it in places where, like, if you look on Pinterest, you'll see it. There's some beautiful
oh,
examples, but I think it will start to really catch on when you start using different type of trees integrated with the brutalist architecture and glass. and wood.
Yeah,
That's
Montreal has a brutalist apartment complex. Funny
oh yeah,
enough,
actually every city has one, 100%.
every city had. Well, like, so
I mean,
so
maybe not the Middle East, but every Western city has one for sure.
so it's like it's like an art style that's like sort of commissioned by the city. Is that like because I would have assumed like brutalism would not be sort of.
Brutalism was very desired during the 60s and 70s because it was so cheap.
Oh,
It was very cheap, right?
I didn't know
Concrete is
that.
not expensive, and you could easily make a lot of houses out of it and mold it into an interesting structure. So back then it was all the hype, you know, and it slowly got out of fashion because, we like windows, we like
Yeah.
softer environments. I personally would never live in a brutalist structure, but I can appreciate the beauty of it, you
Well,
know.
would you live in an eco-brutalist structure?
That would make it more tempting. That would make it more tempting. It really depends, obviously, on the building. Like brutalism today is very different than brutalism in the 70s, 60s, you
Yeah.
know?
Here, I'll send you a better picture of the one I just sent you. Holy fuck. You can see
Oh,
this from the Montreal port.
yeah, exactly. That's super dope. I love how the trees are integrated with it. And you see in the middle, you see a bit of ivy.
Yeah.
So imagine if that just spreads all over the building.
It
It's
it
gonna look so beautiful.
I mean, like honestly, I think you would have you traveled to Canada before?
No, no, it's on my list. I
Man,
love that
you
building, by the way. It's
I
unique
would
as
I would recommend coming to Montreal. The Montreal is like this weird amalgamation of like French, English,
yeah, yeah.
Canadian architecture, and then like people here care about plants enough that you see a lot of like greenery and vines just crawling up buildings,
I love it.
and it
This
just
look
like, oh, bro,
this is, by the way, a beautiful form of eco-brutalism, I
right,
think. What you show me here. Yeah,
dude.
exactly.
An apartment you can actually buy one of those apartments for like over $1 million fucking dollars.
Yeah. See, that's I would never do that. But
Yeah.
also, if you look, you can see some glass structures. You see that
Oh,
on top of some of them.
yeah. It's like I think they might be greenhouses.
Yeah, and I think that perfectly sums it up.
Yeah, it's man.
It's super dope. It's super dope. Yeah, I love eco-brutalism. Why do you bring it up? Did you think it was interesting?
I'm a really big fan of your eco brutalist apartment. I wish I had bought it like a year ago when I had the ETH, because it's like
Yeah.
I remember
It
talking to you about it, but it's like my two biggest like favorite. Well, like I own rustic apartment too, and that's one of my favorite pieces
that's a
because
good one.
it has like a weird like Middle Eastern vibe to it that I just fucking love. And
Oh,
then
really?
yeah, I like I don't know what about it exactly, but it's just like I think it might be like. Hold on, I'm gonna stare at it right now. I just got a like, Rarible road load. Um, where is my rustic apartment?
I will send you the Eco Hideout. Have you seen that one?
I don't think so.
Here you go. I just sent it to you. That's quite new.
Yo. And it's like I actually wanted to talk to you about like man, it's like your style is like Red Scanner was the one that put me on the validity of vaporwave as an aesthetic, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then looking at
You're right.
your videos, I'm just like how like bro, it just like the mixture of like the vaporwave spaciness, right, that everybody likes to use, and then
Yeah,
the music, and then like the faded TV grain, like
yeah.
it actually like fits your work far more than like I would have expected it to, right? And it's like I don't know why. It's like one
Well,
of
because
those. Well, go ahead.
Dutch Tide is born due to vaporwave, man.
That's how you began.
Yeah, so I was one night, I was quite inspired. I found this song, super cliche, but Bart Simpson Vaporwave. Have you ever listened to that
Oh,
one?
dude. Yeah.
Where Are You Going? It's called. Where Are You Going? Vaporwave.
Yo.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, it's called Where Am I Going? and it has this image of Ned Flanders from The Simpsons,
Mm.
and I was listening to that, and I was like, holy shit, this is music. This is, but this is like the top layer of vaporwave,
Yeah.
and it really, I got really into that shit. I got really into vaporwave, and then at one point I found 2418.
Yeah.
Uh,
Oh, is that Macintosh or
no, no,
2418?
no,
Two four one
no.
eight. I've heard that. 2418.
Birth of a New Day. This is like some. This is like if you think of a shitty future.
I I know what you're
This is
talking about exactly.
you should listen to this one with headphones on
I
loud.
I used to have it on Spotify a year ago, and then I lost the playlist.
Yeah, that shit's good. This
Yeah.
shit's good. So I found 2418, and then I found Windows 96.
Yeah.
Windows 96 is an absolute legend with his 100 Mornings, absolute classic album, um, which I also recommend listening to. So I was listening to all this stuff, and at some point I saw this image in my head of a gas station, right?
Mm.
And this gas station, that's where it all started. I got the image right here. I'll send it to you right now. This
I,
is where it started. So this gas station, I was born out of the music that I was listening to. So as I was painting, I changed this image into what I was feeling and seeing,
oh
right?
man,
This
dude.
image literally made out of vaporwave for me.
I mean, it's like, cause like, the more I think about vaporwave, the more I realize it's like essentially like nostalgia fed with like critique fed
Look, I've
with.
listened, I've thought about this a lot, right?
Mm,
So vaporwave, there's an endless discussion about what is vaporwave, but I think
okay.
vaporwave is being nostalgic to a time where the future was brighter than it is today.
Fuck. Okay. Shit. Damn.
It just
Bruh.
means that like
You can't just drop that on me like this, like so casually, sir.
yeah, well, that's what happens when you think a lot about it, right? But vaporwave uses sounds out of our childhood, so you have things like signal wave, which, for example, the Japanese Weather Channel.
Mm.
This is obviously not nostalgic to us, but it does feel nostalgic. Why? Well, because we grew up, I don't know if you grew up with it, but I grew up with Pokemon. I grew up with Sony products. I grew up with anime on my TV, right? I
Yeah.
grew up with these influences out of a time that I wasn't really present, but I got influenced by it. And there were these sounds, games like all these games out of that time that just resonate with you.
It's true.
For the Americans that are listening, it's about the malls. You call it mall soft.
Yeah. It's yeah.
It's a form of vaporwave that focuses on this. When you were walking through the mall and the music would start playing through those crappy speakers, and you're just talking and walking with your family,
It's
and you have
true.
these neon glows in the distance and these kind of like fake but real trees in the middle of a fountain that connects all these hallways with
Oh yeah,
shops,
dude.
right?
I've had that experience too. It's fucking.
Yeah.
It's like you described it perfectly actually. Just because it's like yeah no that you
So
sir you are
why do
right.
we like this? Because we were kids, right? And as a kid, you're super hopeful. The world is just beautiful and great. Like if you're not going through some traumatic shit, it's just good. Life's just good as a kid.
It's
So
true.
Vaporwave aims to bring you back to that time. And the thing is like even though we get brought back to that time, it feels very ominous and dark. There's a dark undertone to Vaporwave, a sadness to
It's
it,
true.
right? Because
Absolutely.
it's that time is past and we know the reality now of that future that we looked at as a kid.
You know, funny enough, the more as you just said that it's. I just have you ever heard of it reminded me of like have you ever heard of the caretaker's work at all? Have you heard the term the caretaker?
No, I haven't. No, I
So
haven't.
um it's sort of vapor wavy, if you will, right? Well, have you ever heard of an album called Everywhere at the End of Time?
No, sounds super dope though.
It's depressing as fuck. It's 6 hours of
Sadly.
simulated dementia.
The Caretaker, Everywhere at the End of Time.
Yeah, so I don't like, if you're gonna listen to it, like, legitimately, it's a heavy piece, but
Mm.
I recommend listening to, what is it, an empty bliss beyond this world, because it's essentially
Wow.
like, if you like, vaporwave aims to like relive nostalgia and like our
Yeah.
memories and all that, and then this work aims to simulate it being, well, simulate its deterioration through its best moments, you know? And so it's like weird loops of like the nicest parts of the song, because that's what the person only remembers in their old age, right? But it's fuzzy.
Yeah.
It's got like that vaporwave lo-fi noise, right? It's got the weird cuts. It's like, and then like, I'm just thinking about that and then comparing it, like, shit, okay. Yo, this you're fucking with
That
some
shit's
deep
sad,
shit.
man.
Oh,
That
dude,
shit's
yeah. It's like, it's sad, but it's also like, it's the perfect like sort of artistic, like, I mean, the way I view it is like, it's an exploration of like identity and fear, and
yeah.
also nostalgia in a sense, right?
Yeah. I
It's
can
like,
imagine. But
yeah,
so it aims to connect you like to people who are experienced dementia. Is that what it
yeah.
does?
So it
Wow.
essentially, like, apparently, if I'm correct, like the caretaker might have had like a family member that suffered from dementia, and
Yeah.
so an empty bliss beyond this world doesn't fully simulate it, but everywhere at the end of time is 6 hours where like the music slowly deteriorates until it just becomes pure fucking noise and chaos,
Whoa. I
right?
can see it. Yeah.
And
Stage 6.
yeah, and so it just like talking about it, it's
Oh.
like as if like what happens when we as kids have gone through vaporwave, right? And then we want this nostalgia, and then what's gonna happen when we can't fucking remember the nostalgia? We can just remember the feelings around it. You know, we don't remember what it fully is. It's like that sort of
Yeah.
thing.
We don't know what the nostalgia entails.
Yeah, it's like, why am
Right?
I
We just
feeling
know
like
we're
this? You know,
nostalgic.
and
Yeah.
so just like, damn, God, yo, you. I mean, just
Well. Yeah.
like even,
There we
yeah,
go.
just like looking at the caretaker's work in like juxtaposition with your work, like I have like far more appreciation for your work too, like shit.
Yeah. I think it's less depressing.
Oh, dude, it's, yeah, well, that is 100%, and it's also
You know.
like, it's escapist in a way. Your
Exactly.
apartments are absolute, like, I mean, I want to escape in my rustic apartment every fucking
You
day.
will be able to, my dude. You will be able to. That's that. So with Midnight Breeze, which is my upcoming project,
Yeah, I was
it's
gonna
called
ask you about that. I was gonna be like, so what's this
Midnight
breeze?
Breeze.
Yeah, what's this
Well,
breeze I feel in this weather, huh, sir?
it's a fresh breeze of art, my dude. Because my God, am I sick of PvP
Oh
animal
yeah,
projects?
same here,
You know.
same
So
here.
this is gonna do it differently. I think this is gonna do it very differently already. So Midnight Breeze is a generative project. It's not generative, but it has elements that are randomly interchangeable based
Mm,
off an algorithm, right? So just like CryptoPunks or Bored Ape Yacht Club, you will have hundreds of different images, but they're all kind of the same.
mm,
Um, each element's hand painted by me. It's a lot more than just a different mouth, you know, it's like
it's true.
completely different environments and settings.
It's true.
I'm very proud of this. Um,
Yo, you should
so
be, man. You really should be.
it's a huge amount of work that went into this, you know, but it was so much fun. And it also is based off that vaporwave. The name is actually inspired by an artist called Desert Sand Feels Warm at Night. Have
Wait,
you heard of that artist?
no, I'm gonna Google that right now. Desert.
So, but when you hear that name, it makes you feel things, right? Like desert sand feels warm.
Wow.
You, out of all people, should recognize that especially.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, I do. I really do.
right? So I wanted to have something similar. So most crypto projects, if we go look at OpenSea right now, it's like it's very simple, like CryptoPunks, art blocks curated, CryptoToads by Gremlin, Bored Ape Yacht Club, which is genius name by the way. I love that.
I
Bored Ape Yacht Club.
like. Yeah, I like. I'm not a fan of the Bored Ape art, but like the Bored Ape
Yeah,
name is insane, and then their mutants, those are
yeah.
fucking sick. And then
I find those actually super ugly, but some of them are super well done.
yeah,
Like the really like
you
the
don't like
the
the weird.
the better serums I like. I don't like the
Okay,
jelly ones, you
no.
know? No, I love the real good serums, like the monster serums or something. I don't know what they're called, but like the really expensive ones.
Okay. Oh yeah, like the ones that like look cool as like fucking.
Those are like those have my appreciation because they're so unique and so out there, you know?
It's like I've noticed like some weird, like the jelly ones. Some of the combinations don't look good, but it just like to me, I'm like, damn, that's actually such a cool concept to like
It is.
mutate your ape. Like that was like shit. Okay.
Yeah.
And then
I mean, to me, it seems so logical, to be honest, because it's so, when you make a project like this, as a creator, you should always ask yourself, what's the next step? What can I do to bring back value to the people that supported me? And what can I do to make it new or do something different?
whoa,
So this is the answer most of the time is like create an evolution of it.
bro, what the fuck am I looking at though? Dutch, what the hell is this?
What are we looking at?
The banners you just sent.
Yeah, I wanted to share you some
What the
different variations.
dude? You gotta be fucking kidding me. You actually gotta be fucking kidding me. What the fuck? I
So it's a
mean,
lot of work, as you can see. These are
yeah,
pretty
like
different.
I have a lot of appreciation for like the work that goes into this because well, like to those listening, I guess you'll know about you heard it here now. There's an there's an artist talk that I recorded with the artist for the Metakey PFP project, and in there the guy was like, yeah, I'm a concept artist, so he's exactly like you. And then he tells me like the biggest mistake the Metakey team made is hire a concept artist for an illustrator job because
Yeah,
he banged the fuck out of all those assets. And when I asked him, I'm like, did you hand draw every fucking single asset, like separate layers and all that shit? He's like, yeah. And I was like, oh dear lord.
yeah,
And
yeah,
then and so like I can't imagine like the amount of work that went into this. Like holy shit, dude. It's like
yeah. Some assets took a full day, and then you just have one, right? So my goal was for each layer. So there's 10 layers in total, and each of them have at least seven variations, right?
bro.
So there was so much work, but totally worth it, especially if you make it fun, you know,
I
and
mean,
and and have a good time. So the goal was to create a juxtaposition between chaotic and zen.
mm,
So some images will feel very zen and very comforting and calm, and others will feel very chaotic and cyberpunk like, right?
mm,
So the project will actually explore that with graphs. So you'll get stats that will say how zen your image is or how chaotic it is.
that's
Uh, yeah, I think that's a lot more fun than
dude.
comparing rarities.
I mean, like honestly, like you're fucking bang on. I'm looking at like I'm comparing them, and I'm just like, first of all, Fezba. I see a Fezba. I fucking like
Yeah,
Fezbas. Ever since I played GTA 5, I'm like Fezbas are the shit.
Vespas are the shit. Yeah, and we go through all kind of different vehicles, right?
Yeah, and it's like, man, and it's like your inspiration, right? You have like eco brutalism happening. You have your
hmm
laundromat. Your
hmm
like, bro,
I go through some of the teams that I've already explored for sure.
dude.
and to just I really enjoyed making this project. Obviously, there's like some real Japanese influences in there, uh, like the kaiju or the like that Japanese street racer car, like the Toyota
Yo,
something. That was a request in the Discord,
I
so somebody was
remember.
like,
I saw
"Can we
it.
put it in?" And I was like, "Sure." And it looks kick ass, so
Dude,
I'm
it
really happy
does.
about it.
It does. I mean, like I was actually thinking about this yesterday. And have you seen Dan's Skies project?
Yeah, I love it.
Right? And it's like I was literally thinking, I was like, the best thing about this is essentially you guys are gonna be the OGs for the background and the banner
Yeah,
project. And it's like I'm
yeah,
thinking, and it's like to those listening, by if you are if a like if an artist starts to spend like more than 6 months in the space, look at their banner, and their banner usually starts to change. Their banner becomes like an identity, sort of, like it becomes a brand, right? Like
yeah,
I mean, like I like the biggest crypto followers have like something. It's like even I like had my banner like with like information about myself, right? And so it's
yeah,
like to capitalize on that, because everybody was like, yeah, I want to create my own like cool little identity in the space,
yeah.
right? And then
Exactly.
like I'm looking at a dude here, like I'll describe it. I won't share the pictures so people just get excited and like go into the Discord, your Discord, the Dutch Tide Discord, get in the inner circle as well, because that you have the whitelist for sales pre.
Yes,
So
yes.
y'all heard it, but it's like y'all heard it here. Go to the Discord and like throw like Tide gifts. That's what we do.
Yeah, and breeze gifts
Yeah, and
of
breeze
dogs
gift.
getting in the breeze, and I love it.
It's
It's
great.
so good.
And but man, it's like I'm staring at this like banner of like this dude staring with a cigarette behind like a greenhouse and a fezba, and I'm like, yeah, I want to be that dude. Shit.
But you know, it's interesting, right? Because I've set up this project in such a way that that you, the viewer, can connect to it, but not be part of it. So, you
Mm,
know, you see that dude and you wonder who is he, and like there's a certain quality about him, like a certain attraction to him, I reckon.
mm.
But he's not from this world,
Yeah,
right?
he's like see through.
Exactly. So there's multiple elements like this, but nobody is human in this project.
Mm.
So you, the viewer, you're the only human in this world.
Yo, I mean, bro, your
And I think that,
clouds. Fuck.
yeah, they're juicy as fuck.
These are facts. I mean, dude, bro, dude.
Yeah, I really really enjoyed making this project, and every day I'm still working on it every day.
I
And
like,
but what I want to say is like the funds of this project will go back into Tide Estates. So
yo,
yeah, so that's gonna be because Tide Estates is such an ambitious project. It's so big that I needed to
yeah,
I need a lot of money
some
to get that
funding.
done.
Yeah, and fucking Beeple and B20, fucking, oof, that shit.
Yeah. Like so I've been trying to fund it through flipping, but it's
Mm,
just not enough, you know?
yeah.
So hopefully I actually have a whole sheet for this. So I'm not doing a roadmap, right? I'm not doing a roadmap for um
I don't think you need a
Save My
roadmap.
Breeze.
I don't think you need one either. Like it's
No,
just.
but I am doing something similar, quite
Mm,
different though. It's um here I'll share it with you. That gives you a good idea. It's a use of funds. What's gonna happen with the money that gets made
okay.
with this project, right? It's very clear what will happen. So right now, if the project would sell out, it would result in 467 ETH point
Mm,
one, 476.1 ETH, which is 1.428 million at one ETH is $3,000 rate. This is a lot of money. That's
yeah.
more money than I can imagine. Um, So me and the developer, both getting 10% of the profit.
Mm.
So that's 47.61 ETH per person, which I will probably cash out because I have barely any savings
Mm.
anymore. I've been living off the savings I made with my previous job,
Oh,
and
okay.
everything I've owned has just gone back into my art and into
So you haven't
buying
cashed out
art.
any of your sales, like the CryptoPunk sale, or
No, zero. I've not cashed out. I don't even have an account where I can cash out yet.
damn. I
Yeah.
did not know that at all.
No,
Shit.
all my money has just gone back into buying NFTs, buying art from people, and paying people.
I'm I,
So,
I'm honestly
yeah.
just mad that fucking 95 ETH goes to taxes. Like, what the fuck? That's
Yeah,
too
that's
much.
something that
That's too
a lot
much.
of people, yeah, it is. It is way too much. But this is actually cheap
I,
compared to I will set up an entire company for this project. It will be called DUTCHTIDE Studios.
yo,
So I
dude,
will hopefully this will be the start of a really big thing. And the things I've planned, I've talked to you about it a while back, but the things I've planned are way bigger than
dude.
anything that's in the space right now.
I mean,
You know?
I low key think I like. Have you seen Jin at all in the
Uh,
space? It's like a
yeah, Jin.
he's a. I'll send you his link. I mean, I just think
I've probably
like
seen it.
his he works on interoperability and shit, but like now that you're like that I remember like what we had talked about, I think like a conversation with him might also help you like figure out what you might like to do with this project, because like his whole thing is interoperability in the metaverse,
Yeah.
right? And so it's like, and I'm not gonna drop any of the
Oh, I do follow Jin.
hey, okay, there you go. I mean,
Yeah. I
I
know Jin.
you know him in person?
No, I
Oh,
just
okay.
been following him
I
for
was
a
gonna be
long
like shit.
time.
You know, it's
No, I don't know Jin. Yeah, I think I've seen something about this.
dude, it's like him and Godfrey built a whole video production thing in Unreal Engine,
Yeah.
a full functioning like green screen production house with cameras in Unreal Engine, and then they did it in Unity so that it functions in VR chat.
Oh, wow, that's so cool.
And it's like I'm literally looking into that so that my artist talks can be done in VR chat, so I can have a camera in VR chat.
Oh, and I got actually a headset, so we could meet then.
Yeah, it's like one of those things where it's like I saw it, I'm just like I'm waiting
This makes
till
sense.
yeah, you just need to learn how to build in Unity and like use their SDK for VR chat, and then you're good.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I was
I
like,
mean, that shit for me is too much work
oh,
as an artist, right? So
same.
that's why I'm hiring people to do cool stuff. But and that's why it costs a lot of money
hey, I
because
mean,
you know.
like,
But it's gonna be dope, man.
and it's
This is
also
dope.
like I can't. I mean, like looking at the quality of art, right? Like if your time is fully distracted, where you're like, fuck, I have to code this, I have to code this, and then oh fuck, I have to draw the assets. Like,
Well,
yeah,
not just code it, right? Like you need to figure out everything. Like programming is an art on its own.
it's
So
true.
for me to figure out how to even like just learning a language, a coding language, programming language takes years. Like if you want to do it right, you know, to get good at it at least. So I don't have time for that. I rather let people do that who love that shit. I
Mm.
don't love it. I'm also not good at math. I'm not good at calculations or puzzles or anything. I'm good at art. And I think
Eh,
you should let people do
what
what they're
they're good.
good at.
I agree. Damn, sir.
So
I
yeah,
mean,
man.
like, yo, you dropped some fucking alpha today, sir. You dropped some fucking
The biggest alpha is just Midnight Breeze, man. That's
dude.
for sure.
I
I
mean,
think it's still super slept on because I think I got like less than 500 members in the
dude, it's
Discord.
like honestly, man. Like from what I've seen, like you got Pranksy in the Discord,
Yeah.
bro. Right? You got Ryan, and I've seen him in a few Discords, right? And it's like one of those things where it's like, I like. I mean, I just crossed 1,000 followers, which is like I was like, yeah, finally, woo,
Woohoo!
right? And
Yeah,
then and
I
so it's like,
remember that myself as well.
dude, it just you're like, oh, holy shit. It's
Yeah.
like I never thought I would commit to something this long to get 100 followers, but I did it, you know. And then, but like all of us, like men, all of us that have like over 1,000 followers now, like in the Discord have the banner, and so it's like there has been like silent advertising happening, and people like who don't know what's happening, like the moment that banner changes, they'll still they'll realize they'll be like, oh shit, something
Yeah.
just dropped, you
Yeah.
know, and
Yeah.
it's like I mean I think it's gonna be fucking exciting,
That's been
legitimately.
my that's been my secret marketing technique. I've been giving everybody that free banner,
Yeah,
and it
man,
says coming soon,
it's great.
really
It's
big.
it's like
But
genius.
so I think it illustrates exactly what this project is gonna be all about.
Exact,
So
exactly, and it just like and it's not too intrusive or anything, and it's also like I mean I had the banner that you sent us
yeah,
before.
the 7-Eleven.
Yeah, and so to me my thing I like switching it like it didn't even I was like yeah hell yeah I'll fucking like a free Dutch Tide banner like yes.
Yeah, but I mean, the 7-Eleven, that's like some top tier shit.
Dude, it's like
Like,
now I don't know what to do when Midnight Breeze comes out because like I have a whole setup with the 7-Eleven with my name and I made it look like it's like a gas station in the 60s and everything,
yeah, I
right?
love it. I love it. I
And
think but those are like, I think those will go up so much in value after this
yeah, oh absolutely,
because these are like, this is like a full-on banner project, right? And
exactly.
you got the original Dutch Tide banner,
It's true.
you know?
It's true. I'm
You
not
got it.
letting go of that shit ever.
But also, I think it's a very personal piece. It captures a lot of things that I'm personally in love with. You
And
know, like I grew up in a coastal town. I still live there. So,
yeah,
I often surf in the rain
nice.
when it perfectly captures that vibe. And then the 7-Eleven, which stole my heart in Japan.
Yeah. You know,
It's
you
so
know, you know that 7-Eleven is listed for 7.11 ETH on OpenSea.
Yeah, I know. I
It's like
saw.
it's like and like
Yeah.
man, you have like nice diamond hands because like all of us are just fucking holding. Not a single person is
Nobody's selling, dude. Nobody. I'm like, guys, come on. Some people gotta join, but nobody's selling.
it's we like it too
Except
much.
except the Church of Crypto crew. Those people, they burned their hands because
Dude,
I think Franksy was like, "Hey, when is this going live?" And then
yeah.
everybody massively bought a Church of Crypto in it's kind of like a mint pass. And
Wow.
then yeah, and then but they didn't realize I wasn't releasing yet, right? So
Y-
that shit didn't go anywhere.
The floor for the Church of Crypto is now is at point 0.5 ETH. Bro, fuck. I really
No,
should have
no, no.
fucking
The Church of Crypto is 0.1.
is it still at 0.1?
0.178 ETH.
Fuck, I'm gonna buy it right now.
That shit went down. Some
Dude,
people were selling for a loss at some point. But I was like, damn.
wait. Oh, point 0.1. Okay. I gotta save up. I thought it was 0.01. Because I remember, like, at some point, like, Beanie was, like, shouting at fucking Pranksy for, like, NFT boxes. But then when you
Yeah,
announced the whitelist, they all got bought up, and I was like, fuck.
yeah. Dude, that was so crazy that
Bro.
day.
That's my, like,
But so,
yeah,
yeah.
that's a regret of mine. I was literally sitting there one day, and I was like, do I take the bullet? Like, and it was a day where it was, like, 150 gas. And I was like, do I take the bullet? No.
Oh, and that
And,
shit got expensive,
dude,
like these got
yeah.
expensive. But I think after X copy, this is one of the most like well done projects by like a not so well known artist.
Yeah,
Because
I think it's fucking great.
if you look at the floor price, right, of NFT boxes,
Yeah,
uh, you won't see mine for a long time.
yeah. It's actually, I'm legitimately surprised by how
How cheap it is.
low some of them are because like you can get some pretty nice fucking shit.
Yeah, I
L-
think so too. I think there's some artists in there that are so underrated,
Yeah,
you know? Like Christy, her cat, she's doing super great. Like there's a bunch of art in here that I'm like, damn. Also, the Church of Crypto has so many references to the artist I did the drop with.
And it's like just like the Church of Crypto is also like just a perfect thing of like a description of part of the space, like legitimately, because sometimes it does feel like a church.
Right? That was the whole theme was a cult. So I was like, well, churches can be quite cult-like, you know. So not all of them, but some of them. So I was like, join the Church of Crypto.
Man,
All
it's
hail crypto, and then it
like
has Satoshi Nakamoto like in the stained glass and shit. Like that's.
I'll save up for it and I'll get it one day. Cause I
Oh no, I can send you one, man. That's no problem.
wait, you have one?
Yeah, I bought one at some point.
Oh, nice. Yeah, you don't
I
have
was
to
like,
do that, bro. But
I don't mind at all. I I think it's one of those things that should. I think it's yeah. I don't care at all.
yo,
If you
dude,
want one,
holy
do
shit!
you want one?
Please, dude, thank you. I would appreciate it massively. Holy shit.
Church of Crypto is just one of those pieces I feel that deserves, people that like it.
Oh, it's like and like I really like it because of like it's also just like the 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 mixture
Very
of
unique.
like it is, and it's like the mixture of the stained glass, right, which is somewhat, I mean, from my experience, like I view it as a little bit sort of Christian, right, and then the pyramid, right, and it's like to me I look at it, I'm like, oh, this is a fucking great piece. It's like, oh,
I think a lot of people did not expect it in their drop because they get it. Obviously, they pay for the box, and in the end, I got 9 ETH out of it in total, which was a shitload of money for me.
mm,
It allowed me to pay for a lot of things. Um, but this is a kind of quality, that you don't see often, I think.
yeah,
Like this
no,
could be its own piece.
yeah,
So
I agree, I really do agree, and it's like, bro, the stained glass is so good, like the music, like the
yeah, the music is done
reflections.
by one of the other artists, actually.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah, by Electric Method. He did the music.
dude, no fucking way.
Yeah. So
Actually?
yeah, so if you look closely, I can spill some of the beans, but so the TV has a program playing in it. That's actually art by Electric Method, and there's a little thingy on the table that's done uh, by his name is quite hard to
Wow.
say,
That's
but
the soda can that's in the NFT. Is that the soda
yeah,
can?
there's a reference to every artist in the box, if
Bro,
of the April box.
dude.
Yeah, yeah. The can was made by Dmitry Petyakin.
Yo, that's fucking
So
insane.
that's sitting on the table, and then obviously Pranksy is in there, X Copy, and like Christie, all the other artists are in there. Yeah.
Dude, my god.
This also brutalist. This also maybe you would like this because it's a pyramid.
That's one of the reasons. Like I like it because it's essentially like it shows a hybridity that you only hear about, like, and you could only witness at a certain time in Egypt,
Yeah,
where it's like, and it's like it's specifically like it's Coptic, right? Because Coptics have been in Egypt like ever since antiquity, and so it's like the evolution of like Coptic Christianity is like alongside just growing up with like ancient Egyptian shit is just like tied together so much that it's like seeing that tied with crypto. I'm just like, yo,
you're feeling it.
and it just it's insane because it's just like it's like hybridity of culture, but also because it's crypto, it's hybridity of internet culture, connections with people, right?
Yeah,
It's like a church is a place where you go and think, right, thought, and like so also like faith, right, and so it's just like it's like, bro, you're like stuffing it with fucking themes, like
I
shit.
think at some point these will also be super interesting because they will be playable, right? Like interactive places that you
Dude,
can that you can decorate with your own stuff. So when you have this space, I think it will act as a beautiful gallery for some of your NFTs,
oh,
right? Or
absolutely, or just
or as
even like a
yeah,
place to hang out with people.
exactly. So You could replace the table and take out those benches and the TVs, and you can make a really big living room full of plants out of it, or you can, make it an art gallery, or you can make it keep it a meeting room like this. You know,
Dude,
like I think it will become a really significant piece, and it will become really important for the economy of United States,
dude.
actually.
I mean, and it's like you've also built the collector base that wants it to happen. That like we like when we bought like I mean like when I bought Rustic Apartment, like you didn't even need I did not need to talk to you about it to realize or sort of envision the future of where this project is going, because
Yeah,
of I sort of like I looked at your profile, looked at it, and I was like, I understand where this is going. This sort of makes absolute sense. And then
I think
you,
I think it's the perfect, like, this project could not be more crypto.
yeah,
I
it's
think.
like
And it makes me wonder why the fuck other people are doing such stupid shit.
because they
And
just
also, like, no offense to the other artists, I'm gonna talk a bit of slack now, but there's no point in just releasing artwork after artwork, in my opinion,
mm,
right? Like, there is a lot of art, and I please do keep making artwork, and please do keep releasing it, but don't expect people to pay big bucks for,
it's true.
like, imagine if I was just gonna keep making art, right? But it doesn't go really anywhere.
It's true.
That's when you would say, all right, look, I love your art, but I'm not gonna buy every piece. Or I'm not a full-on collector because it lacks a certain vision. Whereas with these United States pieces, you totally see, you can feel the potential, I think. You
Absolutely,
can you can feel this can grow into something really unique,
absolutely.
right?
Oh,
So
absolutely,
this, for me, what you're looking at is already a year of thinking through where this is going, and that counts for every piece I do.
dude.
So every
It's
art piece that I release somehow will function, like, will help make this metaverse come to reality, or add to it
dude.
in a way that's meaningful and that matters,
It,
you know?
and it's like I see it now, and it's like I already told you, like I'm fucking crazy. I'm not letting go of any of your shit for like unless it's like worth at least like a
But
house.
that's exactly what I want, to be honest, because I want to reward the people that believe in me and that are holding, and I want what they see in it, I want that to come true. You know what I want for Rustic Apartment O2?
What?
I want you to go in there, right? I want you to type in United States and you click on play, and your apartment shows up, and you zoom in, you click on your chair and you go sit in it, or you move it to where you want it, and you put a record on your record player, and that record is an NFT of one of your favorite artists
Dude,
that you can listen to now,
I can't wait.
right?
I can't wait. Like, oh my god.
Neither can I. I think what it's a very simple experience. I wouldn't call it a game, but it's giving that little bit of utility to NFTs that we're missing, I think.
It's like the interoperability of it as well, and
Yeah.
it just
It
makes
just costs a
sense.
lot of money, dude.
It
It
makes
just costs.
sense too. You know? Yeah,
Yeah, I think so too.
it's like and it's like it's the perfect evolution, and it's like I mean I tell you this, and I gotta end this after because we've been talking for almost 2 hours.
Yeah, I tend to talk a lot, man. I'm
Oh,
sorry.
dude, no apologies. These are fucking great. I actually prefer them when they go longer than an hour because then it's like then the conversation has like far more substance. Then it's hey hi
Yeah,
how are you, what's your name, what do you do, you know.
yeah.
And it
No,
just
I like to share my vision, because I don't get to talk a lot about it, and
man,
I think it's sometimes a bit complex, and it's a bit hard to explain it in a Twitter post in 140
it's
characters,
true. Oh, absolutely. And it's just
So
like bro, and it's like talking to you about it, like I'm so excited for the future of it too, because it just Like
Yeah, me too.
it requires work, but it's like I don't see anybody else like except for fuck render, fuck render. Is that how you say it?
Yeah.
The
He's
V
the only one
always
doing
like
it.
confuses. I'm like, do I have to pronounce the V or do I just say fuck? Like I don't.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know either. But he's the only one. He's the only one doing the also his own metaverse, the
Right?
fuck render.
And it's just like
It's
his.
a lot less.
Hmm?
Like that's a really great way of giving utility
It's
to
true.
your. It's and I've done something similar with the Tibet homage, which will
Oh,
be a full Unreal build that you get to experience,
dude.
which is Tide Stage. Yeah, it's really great, but it's not the experience. It's not the full experience that I want people to have yet.
Mm,
But I think from now on, all the Tide Estates pieces will be like that.
dude.
They will have an Unreal real-time version connected to them.
I would. My brain would fucking explode.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun because you get to design these apartments in a different way. So, for example, most of my apartments right now don't have a roof because if you have a roof, you can't really look inside and appreciate the interior design, right?
Yeah.
But with Tibet Homage, I could do a roof.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. That's. We can be in. We're gonna be inside of it, and it's like the pictures you've shared. Like that shit looks crisp as fuck. Like the texturing and everything. I was like, damn.
yeah, it's a lot of fun. Thank God we have Megascan textures nowadays. That's
Yeah.
Megascan is a place where you can download textures and use those. They're like photo scanned textures.
Wow.
Because if I had to download, like make those things myself, my God, it would
Oh yeah.
take me a million times longer to make something. Here, this is what a Megascan texture looks like. I'm sending you one. Um, there you go. Super
Holy
nice.
shit! Wow.
Yeah, so they use photo scans to make these.
Wow.
So I just get to take these beautiful assets that people have been making and I put them into my own world and I arrange them in such a way that I find pleasing,
I mean,
right?
we are. It is free to use, right? They have a fucking violin case. Wow, that looks like a coffin.
Hmm. Yeah, they have a lot of things, dude.
Wow.
Yeah, that's awesome. I looked forward to create my own 3D assets like this because the new iPads they have this LiDAR sensor that allow you to photo scan
Dude, yeah,
things.
I'm dying for when Android phones get lidar, because
Yeah, me too. Me
that
too. I
shit's.
can't wait.
Oh my god.
That's the day I start making my own assets.
Yeah, it's like, and it's so nice too, and it's like, it has a nice artistic look to it that you can like utilize. They have fucking words. Wow.
Dude, yeah, they have all kind of things.
Like
It's beautiful.
graffiti and okay, wow. Yo,
Yeah.
everybody go fucking into Dutch Tide's Discord, and fucking talk to him right now. This man has knowledge. This man has, bro. What the fuck?
Yeah, as concept artists, we use megascans a lot to create scenes very quickly, right? Because imagine if you have to paint a rock wall. Actually, painting a rock wall takes ages. So it's better to do it in 3D and then overpaint it to give it a painterly feel, you know?
Wow. Okay. Yo, this is a whole new different ball game, sir. This.
Yeah, I mean that's what you do as concept artists. You always aim to do things really fast, you know. So that I
Okay.
bring a lot of those techniques into my own work to do
Damn.
things fast. Yeah,
Well. Holy
yeah, man.
shit. Well, yo, Dutch, thank you for coming on. This was fucking great. Legitimately.
It was really nice to meet you.
Dude, likewise. It's like you actually have a good. I tell this to everybody I talk to, but apparently everybody I talk to has a good podcasting voice, and I'm like, well, shit, okay.
You have a really nice, comforting voice. That's very, very true.
But it's like, yo, I recommend, like, man, it's like if you get more opportunities to like talk to people and like get it posted, do it, because like a lot of I imagine a lot of people would like fucking love hearing you talk about your work. Like it's fucking
I feel like
insane.
I feel a ramble too much, to be
Oh,
honest.
dude, no.
But
Bro, on Spaces, like Twitter Spaces go for like 8 hours now, where people are just like, "Hey, what are you guys doing today?" And then the topic switches every hour. So it's like,
oh shit.
oh
Yeah,
yeah,
no, I've never done a Twitter space. Can you even do that on the computer?
yeah. You can join to listen, but you can't talk. I don't know why.
Yeah, I find that really stupid.
Yeah,
Right? That's so.
Jack's
So
too
then you need to
focused on the
use your
phone.
shitty. Yeah, you need to use your shitty cell phone. Cell
Yeah,
phone
and it
mic.
kills your phone battery, and it like freezes your phone sometimes and shit. It's
Yeah, yeah, and I'm rocking a really old OnePlus phone, so that shit's that shit's not doing well with the
no.
current
Oh
technology or
yeah.
app.
We-
All right, man.
it was great. It was great having you. To those listening, I've put your links down in the description. I also put the link for your Discord down there, and
Oh,
like
cool. Great.
your Rarible OpenSea. The
Oh,
one
actually,
mm,
you should send the yacht. I'll link you the yacht
the
because
yacht.
that has yeah, it has all my info here. Easier
All right. I
there.
will, and I'll link your yacht, and then I'll you link your Twitter,
Oh,
and
excellent.
and
Yeah,
then
thanks, man. Had such a good time with you.
dude, it was great. And to those listening, go say hi to Dutch. Um,
Yeah,
he
try to welcome every single person individually, if
he
possible.
he legitimately does it. It's actually fucking crazy. And
So,
and yeah, hopefully to those listening, enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.